Did the Patriots win any Super Bowl in a blowout?
No, they were all the first three were all.
Brady did
games.
against the Chiefs, but but I
Brady
think
did, but the Patriots.
No,
in fact,
the games were close.
The first three were just like the Chiefs, so they were like. In fact, the Chiefs were bigger margins. The first three Patriots I know were 3 points each.
Yep.
And then
I don't think they had a comfortable
one
win.
was Donovan McNabb drove down for theoretically an O, by the way.
So then it was 14, 16, 18. So 14 they win by 4. 16 they win by 6, but it was an overtime.
Yeah.
Right.
And then the third one, the sixth one, it was 13-3, but it was 6-3 in the fourth quarter.
It was 6-3 in the fourth quarter. So, no, they weren't. And I think that's more a reality of today's NFL with the salary cap and free agency, that the talent gets dispersed. You don't get dominant forces anymore in the NFL because the talent. So you have to make the plays late in the close games, and that's what Tom Brady and the Patriots did. That's what the Chiefs are doing now. I do agree with that. But I guess the flip side is...
I think the more important part that you probably would want to get to is this mindset responsible for something that did pay off? Obviously, he looks like he's going to be a fine player.
Rashee Rice.
But, yes, other people kind of held their nose and said no. And you held your nose and said yes. And maybe, okay, this one worked. But maybe a few others won't work. Or maybe you'll go on a run where they don't work. So, anyway.
Yeah, no, I definitely think that's it. I will say the flip side of the coin is looking at it and saying, okay, they were champions last year. Once they played, and I think a lot of it was maybe Andy Reid, stop trying to make guys who aren't good receivers. I mean, what was the biggest thing that changed after the Raiders? They took, or they got hurt, however you want to describe it, Kadarius Toney and Sky Moore off the field.
Yeah.
They quit screwing around with that and just played with the guys who could catch the football.
They called it running what works or running the plays we know, but we all know what it was.
Yeah, like you got rid of Kadarius Toney and Sky Moore. I like, if that's harsh, let it be your motivator, Kadarius Sky, if you're listening right now, because what I'm saying is not untrue. And so, and maybe they'll both bounce back and be absolutely fantastic, and we'll be thrilled. But
that's cute.
That is cute. I wouldn't fall out of my chair if it happened to Sky Moore. I would fall out of my chair if that happened to Kadarius Toney.
I fall out of my chair, get back in the chair, and fall out again.
Well, Kadarius Toney is an example. You traded a high draft choice for Kadarius Toney, who has given you a handful of very important plays, but was just tossed away by his first organization, to who they drafted in the first round, and said, "Well, yeah, we've had enough of him."
They gave up. They got a third,
right? That's
not what they put into him, but not tossed away.
But I mean, within 18 months of making him a number one draft choice, they got a third back.
They got out from under him and took 50 cents on the dollar, 25 cents on the dollar.
Right?
Fair, absolutely a fair shaping of what happened. But as I look at it, the one thing I will say, and they lose L'Jarius Sneed, that's a loss, but the depth of corner that they have with Najee Johnson coming back, if he's as good as they all keep talking about him, Josh Williams, one of the highest graded corners on PFF, just like Leo Chenal is one of the highest graded linebackers, both those numbers will come down when they play all the time. Like they were spotted in spots where they could really be effective. And yes, Josh Williams did his job against the fourth option. Well, now he might be on the second option, so it's going to get harder to do it. So I just want to caution everybody. Because I had somebody go, have you seen the PFF grades? Yes, but that's not in a vacuum, sir. He wasn't going up against Randy Moss in his prime every time. Like when L'Jarius Sneed and Trent McDuffie are out there, they take the 1 and 2. So Josh Williams is doing a great job covering threes. We're going to see what happens when he's got to get the 1 or 2. And I think he's going to do fine. I don't think he's going to be L'Jarius Sneed, but I think he's going to do fine. I'm not really worried about that. I do worry about the lack of depth at linebacker. I do think the defensive line was not a strength. Jones is a strength, but overall, it's good enough. Now, I think Karlaftis...
Maybe that's why they were hanging on to Isaiah Buggs.
Could have been. I like Mike Pennell. Some people give me grief, Sam McDowell, Jeff Chania, for liking Mike Pennell as much as I do. But I think he's there to take up blocks, and he does that. But I don't think their defensive line is exceptional. And I think if they take some injuries there, especially with the men who are already being down, they've already got one. They go into the year with one. If Jones goes down, it's two fatties and a blitz again. And they got to really come after some people and change the dynamics of how that defense is played. That being said, though, I don't think Rashee Rice is going to get suspended this year. I don't think they're going to suspend him until the legal process plays out, because that's what they did with Frank Clark, and that's what they did with Charles Omenihu. The NFL didn't step in and suspend until the whole process was played out. And so, now listen, there are, I'm sure, other examples of times when people have been suspended before the whole legal process plays out, because the NFL doesn't really have laws. They do what the commissioner wants to do. And they may say, no, we're throwing the book at this guy. Like, he's on the video, that's enough for us, and he's going to. I might be wrong. And I'm not, like, adamant that he's not going to get suspended. But if he's not, and then you throw in Hollywood Brown and Xavier Worthy to that, that's exactly what this offense needed. And so then it comes down to, can they protect on the left side? We know what Juwan Taylor's going to be. I think he'll be a little bit better on the penalties this year. I expect him to be significantly better, to be honest with you. I think he was picked on, and Andy Reid's going to sit in competition committees this offseason, and there's going to be a different view of that, my opinion. But I'm not sure about left tackle. And if they can figure out left tackle, though, I think the offense will be better. I think the league, if they're focused, the league is going to get a much tougher task at stopping the Kansas City Chiefs, because I think the Chiefs will be better. And you tell me the top team. Name me the top teams in the NFL last year besides the Chiefs. Give it to me. Niners for sure.
Niners for sure. And some drifted
Ravens.
away.
Ravens conference championship. Well, still the Lions
Bills,
in there.
Bills are still a team like that.
Okay,
right?
Bills. I like that. Anyone else? Who else do you want to put in there? Top
Cowboys.
Teams in the league. Okay, Cowboys.
They're always there.
Yeah, Cowboys. I'll take anybody. Give it to me.
Right, but your point.
No, you haven't heard my point. Are those the top teams?
Yeah.
Okay, so here, which one of those teams got better this year?
Except if
there's only one that you could name, the Lions.
Yeah.
Especially with the 49ers seemingly about to move one of their wideouts for the last 2 months.
Yeah, Brandon Ayuk.
You know?
Right. The only caveat is whether somebody had a bang-up draft class that we don't know.
Okay.
That they could have gotten better.
But definitively.
But you know, right, for people who signs and losses.
Some people like what the Ravens did.
Right.
Everyone always likes what the Ravens do, and then they don't win the postseason.
Getting Derrick Henry?
I guess they're. I think somebody. Maybe maybe I just imagine the draft.
The Ravens always take a step forward, take a step back. They don't take a step back to like 6-11.
No.
They take a step back from their 13-14 wins to win like 10, and that's what I'm kind of expecting. And maybe I'm hanging my hat on that too much, and the Ravens are going to be.
Well, you could make an argument that the Chiefs took a step back last year, which is a good thing.
Yes, they were ready to take a step forward this year.
They weren't as good.
That's my very point. And so, and my point is that I do expect the Chiefs to take a step forward, and I expect everybody that's up at the top to take a step back, except for the Detroit Lions, and they got to get through the NFC playoffs to get to the Chiefs. So that doesn't bother me, and it leaves me looking for teams like the Texans or who could come from off the pace.
Chargers
and Texans are my top two teams. And Bengals. Because Burrow's healthy. They
had a nice offseason.
Yeah, they had a nice offseason.
They benefited from their low standings and got some decent draft picks.
But I do worry that they'll be like, well, we got off to a slow start. We'll turn it on when we need to. Whatever. You had to embarrass yourself on Christmas Day to get the wake-up call. You didn't just flip a switch. Yeah. The switch got taken off the wall, shoved down your throat with a hot poker, and stuffed in there because we all went on the air right after that and said the Chiefs ruined Christmas. Like, you're not playing. Well, you are playing on Christmas this year, but I don't think you'll get a chance to get that deep into the season and just figure it out like you did.
Well, the Chiefs have been the best fire eater, sword swallower, I don't know, Houdini. You just don't get behind. Well, last year they got behind in their season, but you just don't get behind playoff game after playoff game by double digits and win championships, except for the Chiefs.
Right.
I mean, I don't remember any football team being called the Cardiac Cards, or the Giants won their 2 Super Bowls in dramatic fashion, but it wasn't like they were down 3 touchdowns or something. They just won close games against teams they were supposed to lose to. So the Chiefs have played with fire and doused it, and a big part of it is because Patrick Mahomes is holding the fire extinguisher.
Danny Klinkskill is with us. We're at Sullivan's Steakhouse. You can come on down and enjoy some great cocktails and, of course, a wonderful meal. Incredible dining experience you're going to get here. Gift cards. Purchase a $100 gift card. Get an additional $25 gift card. They do happy hour Monday through Wednesday, 3 to 6. Thursdays, 3 to 10. Sundays, 11 to 10. You can enjoy some $8 bar bites. You can enjoy their wonderful signature cocktails, crafted cocktails, right here at Sullivan's. We're on the southeast corner of 119th and Row. Danny Klinkskill's appearance always brought to you by the best when it comes to your roof. Easton Roofing. Joe Spiker and his team. Out of this world. If your business has questions, hey, businesses have been hailed on too, just like homes. They offer thermal zone inspection. You can tell right there on the spot whether the water is under the roof. You're not going to wait weeks to get the answers your business needs right now. Contact Easton Roofing. Integrity matters at Easton Roofing. You can find them online at eastonroofing.com.
More of Danny's Reasonably Irreverent podcast after this.
Did you experience hail damage last year and never got the work done? Most insurance companies only give you a year to get the roof fixed. And if you don't get it done, you could possibly not be compensated in full for the replacement of your roof. If you've been procrastinating getting that damaged roof taken care of, give us a call at 913-257-5426. And we'll send out an expert to help you through the process. We're never pushy, we're just here to help. Easton Roofing. Integrity matters.
All right, the good sense. End of the hour answer. Aaron Judge, the top all-star vote getter for the second time in his career. What player?
What's that guy? What's he done?
Nothing. Schmuck.
Hadn't won anything.
Yeah.
Loser. What player was the top vote getter in baseball the most times?
How many?
5.
When did they start doing that?
The voting?
1970 is when they resumed the fan voting.
5-time highest vote getter.
Judge is the 11th player to do it twice.
Pete Rose.
No.
Mike
Rose?
Schmidt, maybe?
Nope.
Johnny Bench.
Bench did it twice.
Only twice. Chi Brett?
No.
Let's see. 70.
Ken Griffey Jr.
Ken Griffey Jr.
Nailed it. Shut your mouth, Danny. Bow to my greatness.
5 times. Rod Carew 4 times. Ichiro 3 times. Hank Aaron, Jose Bautista, Johnny Bench, Albert Pujols, Cal Ripken Jr., Alex Rodriguez, and Ozzie Smith did it twice.
Wow. But how many times for the kid?
5.
That makes sense. He's pretty good.
And really
people like
popular
him, too.
person.
Yeah. Well, he wore his hat backwards. If you wear your hat backwards, people love you.
Yeah, they think you're cool.
That's how it works.
I mean, he was so good that I think it was fairly obvious that he didn't really kill himself to stay in shape or anything else. He was just good. I mean, he got fat
at the end,
right? Well, you know, I mean, he was just
he was
getting there all along.
I think he was smooth. Is the term I like to use?
Yeah, smooth.
He was smooth.
I mean, he was just so wildly talented. I guess it'd be easy to say, well, you know, I just hit, you know, I didn't really work out last offseason, but I just hit 52 homers and won another Gold Glove. Why? Why would I?
Yeah.
You notice one guy's name did not show up on that. Talking about being liked, Barry Bonds.
Right. Well,
these people, he was not a fan favorite.
You know, he wasn't really a lovable guy even before the steroids.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah, so
that hasn't stopped Curtis from pledging his undying loyalty to the man in any and all circumstances.
I tried. Somebody posted something. I saw this last week. If you played every day for an entire Major League season, and every day you went 2 for 5 with a home run and a single, you'd finish the season with 162 homers, 800 some total bases, 324 hits, and you'd still have a lower OPS than he had in 2004. that Bonds had in 04.
Right, well,
You mean when it was on steroids?
Yes,
part of the reason
he went 2 for 5 every day with a homer.
Part of the reason is that he never went 2 for 5 because he got walked.
He walked 200.
So he just had to go. He just went 1 for 2 and hit a home run, which would be a 2,000 OPS.
We just gave away Good Sense. You can put your order in right now. Goodsense.com. WHBG5. If you're getting a party tray, use that promo code. Save $5 on the party tray. Party trays are great. If you're having people over, got a big weekend coming up. If you can have people over, get a party tray. They will give you everything: the utensils, the napkins, the plates, condiments, the freshest veggies. I love the veggies when they come over. Honestly, I could just take a fork to the veggies, and I have, as a matter of fact, with the leftovers. Goodsense.com. We're live here at Sullivan's today, where you can come on by and enjoy a great place to hang out and have a cocktail.